InSpirit family. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt like you were slipping into darkness? Have you ever felt like you're just going down that slope and you can't get your grasp, you can't hold on, you can't find a way to claw your way back out of it? You ever felt like that? Yeah. It's mentally, physically, and emotionally draining to be going down that slippery slope. What if I told you I have a magic potion that can get you out of that anytime you feel yourself slipping? What if I told you that this magic potion could give you more optimism? That this magic potion could help you be more productive? And guess what? It's free. I don't have a magic potion, but I have a magic solution. And it's really not that magic. It's called gratitude. That's right, gratitude. Science tells us that an attitude of gratitude is a good, healthy choice. That's right, it's the healthy choice. It's not a food. It's not a medicine. It's nothing you have to take. It don't cost you anything, doesn't take any time or effort. But it's a good, healthy choice. An attitude of gratitude. Being more grateful more often makes us happier and more optimistic. Don't you agree? When you're happier and you're grateful, you're feeling better about yourself and about things. In Matthew chapter 14, we see Jesus has just been told about John the Baptist. Okay? He's been told that John the Baptist has been beheaded. Now, you know they were cousins. You know that there was a kinship and a love there, right? So you can imagine how you would feel about that. Feel pretty down, right? Easy to see that you'd be slipping into darkness right there. And I think that's what happened to Jesus. Because Jesus, at that point, got into a boat, started rowing along to be someplace isolated. He was on the boat and he rowed to get away to be someplace isolated. Well, obviously that didn't work because the crowd started to follow him. They followed him on land to where he was going by water. And by the time he got there, they were all over the place. So Jesus looked at him, and at that point, he just couldn't think about himself anymore. So he did two things. The first thing he did is he went and he gave them a healing. He gave them something. How do you feel when you're giving somebody something when you're at a point where you feel like you don't have nothing? You're giving something that you don't think you can even give to yourself, but you're giving something in that feeling of giving makes you feel good. So Jesus gave them a healing. That was the first thing he did. But then the disciples said to him, Jesus, it's getting late, and we're in this isolated place. In other words, look, you brought us all the way out here to nowhere, and now all these people are hungry, and we need to get them out of here so they can go and get something to eat. Jesus said, well, feed them. They looked at him like, what? What are we going to feed them with? Let me see, I got nothing. I've got nothing, so what are we going to feed them with? He says, well, what do you have? I said, well, we got these 5 loaves and these 2 fish. Let me have them. Just let me have them. Give me here. Let me have them. So they gave him the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and you know what happens at that point. This is the second thing that he did, the second great thing he did. He said, thank you. Thank you for the 5 loaves and the 2 fish. And when he was thankful, he got more. When he was thankful, his blessing was multiplied. When he was thankful, it turned everything around. No longer was he in an isolated place, feeling down, slipping into darkness. Now, he was a blessing to himself and everyone. He was thankful. And that's what we're talking about today. When things get you down, you're feeling heartbroken, you're feeling like you can't find your way out of it, give thanks. just like Jesus did. Give thanks. Sometimes you may think, well, I don't have anything to give. I can't heal people like Jesus could heal people, but you do have something to give. I'm going to give you all something right now. What did I give you? I gave you a smile. Now, it's hard not to smile back at somebody that's smiling at you, right? I mean, you feel kind of bad if you don't. You almost have to make an effort not to smile at somebody that's smiling at you. I mean, even if you think they're crazy, you still go smile because something inside of you is just triggered by a smile. You have something to give. You always have something to give. Do you know how many people walk around each day feeling like they're invisible because no one makes eye contact with them? You have so much to give that costs you nothing. Give, and you will be given back to you, blessed and multiplied. We know that's how it works, right? Most of you know, so I was in the Navy for 25 years. And in the Navy, you get 30 days of leave every year. Now you can accumulate, what's leave? Okay, what's leave? Let's get out of Navy terminology. You get 30 paid vacation days a year, okay? And you can kind of save them up to about 60 days. So every 2 or 3 years, we would have to change duty stations, meaning every 2 or 3 years you moved. You'd pick up your whole household, all your stuff, you move someplace else. And normally I would try to save as much of my vacation time as possible so that in between duty stations, I'd have a lot of time off, right? So this one point in the year 2000, I was going from a ship to my first overseas duty station. That's a big deal for me because I've never lived outside of the country before. And I wanted to make sure I took enough leave to spend time with my family, go visit everybody here and there on vacation, and, you know, do something for me, check out other folks, and just have a good time before I went over there because I knew I can't just jump in my car on a whim and go visit whoever, right? So I had my vacation all planned out. You know, I was going to go on a nice trip for me. I was going to do something good. Nice trip to the Bahamas, go party. A lot of partying in the Bahamas. But anyway, it's just a nice trip to the Bahamas. So I get there and I had that nice trip. And when I came back, probably the next day from coming back from the Bahamas, I got a phone call from the family saying, hey, you got to come home. We think mom's about to make her transition. So I'm like, wow. So I go home, I get there on a Monday, my mom transitioned that Friday. Now, I was quickly getting ready to slip into darkness, but then something caught me. This one thought caught me, and that thought was, wow, how blessed are you to be able to be here to spend this time with her before she leaves. Man. Had I not been on leave, I wouldn't have been able to come till afterwards. Had I not been on leave, I wouldn't have been able to spend those 5 glorious days right there. I mean, man, that time was a blessing. You wouldn't believe it, but we had a really good time. I mean, for someone that was, you know, just getting ready to step off, my mom was funny as all get out. I couldn't believe it. She was telling my father, come on, get in here, one more chance. I mean, that's the day of, and I'm like, man, all right. So she was celebrating life each and every day right up until the last moment, and she gave me that ability to celebrate it. So when I look back on that time of transition, I look back with a heart of gratitude. And do you know how difficult it is to be sad when you look back on something with a heart of gratitude? It's next to impossible. It's hard to do it. So it's very rare that I find an occasion to look back on that transition and be sad. It's always, you know, a process of, oh, I miss my mom, but man, she was so funny. I remember when she did this. And it always just goes right up from there. It's a wonderful process. So gratitude is the magic potion in which we have available to us to change the scenario, to change the vibration, to change what we're seeing in front of us, and to change the vibration in our heart. All we need to do is to exercise it. Gratitude attracts what we want. It's the law of attraction. So I'll give you an example. My daughter, Erica, and her husband, Imani, had They wanted children. They had been married for like about 5 years, and they were trying to have children, and she had a miscarriage, and they were beginning to think that it just wasn't going to happen. So I started a gratitude journal. And every day in that gratitude journal, I say, thank you, God, for Erica and Imani's beautiful children. Thank you, God, for all the beautiful, healthy children they're going to have every day. Every day I wrote this, believing it and seeing that it was going to happen. I'm not saying I'm the sole reason that my grandchildren are here, but I think that the energy that I put forth manifested. I think the energy I put forth helped something to come into being. So I'm going to take credit where credit's due, and I had something to do with that. That's right, why not? So remember that when you are consciously aware of your blessings and are grateful for them, you are focusing more clearly on what you do want. You're focusing on what you'd like to have in your life. And when you focus on it, you bring more of it to you. You open the field up to bring more into your life. All right, so gratitude also reduces negativity. Try to be grateful for something and be negative at the same time. Can you do it? Just try it right now. Be grateful for one thing, and at that very same time, try to be negative about something else. Kind of difficult, isn't it? It's like trying to pull yourself in two different directions. And the positive direction always wins out. Next, gratitude improves your skills, your problem-solving skills. It does, because if you're looking at a situation and you're like, oh man, something is wrong, this is all messed up, you put barriers down immediately to what you can do. But when you see that there's a silver lining, when you see, okay, I can look at the best that's happening in this situation and not the worst. I can look at the good in this and not necessarily the bad. And as soon as you start looking at what's good about something, you find a way to make things happen. You find a way to make it through. Gratitude also helps you to learn. Because when you're more positive, you're more open and receptive, your brain is operating at a higher level, you get this energy and vibration going on, and you're able to think better and clearer. You have a better focus when you're in gratitude. Now, in Luke chapter 17, verses 11 through 19, is another story where Jesus tells us about how gratitude works in your favor. And this is the story of the 10 lepers. Because there were 10 lepers that Jesus ran across, right? And he healed all of them and told them to go and, tell the folks that they were healed. Well, they went and did that, but only one came back to say thank you. Only one saw it as a blessing. Only one kept the blessing. And he was healed by his faith. The rest of them, it quickly went away. They didn't keep that blessing. They maintained their status as lepers. They did not change their stripes. Remember that. Be thankful for what you have. An individual who had insufficient appreciation of good events and an overwhelming overemphasis of bad or unfortunate experiences is greatly undermines their serenity, contentment, and satisfaction with life. So you can't find the good in it. You are the one that's bringing yourself down. You are the one seeing your life as not what you want it to be. In the 30th Psalm, David says, "Oh my God, I will give thanks unto thee forever." If you feel like you have nothing in particular to be thankful about, just be thankful to God. Just be thankful to God just for being thankful. Just because you are here, just be thankful. If you can't say anything else, you can say, thank you, God. You don't have to put anything after it. Let's try that all together right now. Thank you, God. One more time. Thank you, God. And one more time. Thank you, God. That's right. It lifts you up. You can feel the energy. You can feel the vibration. You can feel the change. So you say, well, this gratitude thing sounds great. It sounds fantastic. It's rewarding. But how do you increase your feelings of gratitude when nothing seems to be going right? How do you do it? When life presents you with all kinds of challenges and adversity, how do you do it? Is it really possible to express gratitude even if you're not feeling like you have anything grateful to be anything to be grateful for? Like I just said, you can start off with a simple thank you, God. But I've got a practice for us here to start. I want you to think of 5 things right now that you're grateful for. You can write them down if you have a pen and paper. If you don't, just come up with 5 things. Now reflect on your 5 things. Reflect on what you're thankful for. Spend some time just taking it in. You feel better already, right? Thinking about those things, feeling grateful for those things. Now, here's the 3rd and final thing that you do in this quick exercise. Pick one of those things, any one of those things, and we're going to yell out, thank you, and put that in there. You don't have to give a long explanation. If it's a person that did something for you or something, we're just going to say thank you and put that right in there, okay? All right, so let's do this all together. 1, 2, 3. Thank you for InSpirit. Woo! Put that out there to the universe, and it's gone out, and it's reverberating all around the room, and it's coming back, and you're feeling a little something of it because you said thank you. You know what? It feels better if it's a person if you say it right to their face. It goes a long way when you take that practice to the streets. So have an attitude of gratitude, because gratitude is a choice. You can either have that choice of gratitude or you can slip into darkness. What are you going to choose? You know, they say that whatever you praise, you raise. You praise it some more, you raise it some more. You praise it some more, you raise it some more. He's talking about wanting to lift the roof off of something. Keep praising it, keep lifting it, keep saying it higher and higher and higher, and you'll be taken right along with it. But here quickly are some things that you can do. Keep a gratitude journal every day. When I find life getting to be what feels like overwhelming, I start a gratitude journal. And I write that full page, everything that I'm grateful for, until I'm at the bottom of it. Trust me, you can find something to be grateful for. And on the other page, I write the things that I want to see in my life as being grateful for them as they've already happened. Do those things, they will be helpful to you. Look for what's right about the situation, not what's wrong. We already talked about that. Practice gratitude with your family and friends. Sometimes our family doesn't know that we appreciate them. They think we take them for granted. Practice it with your family and friends. Practice it even when you don't feel like it. And last but not least, make thank you your mantra. When you wake up first thing in the morning, when you pop open your eyes, thank you, God. I am awake. I don't know if I can move yet, but I know I'm awake. And take it from there. You got to start somewhere. Practicing gratitude helps you extract the most out of your life. You can also experience an overall shift to a more benevolent view of the world. I think it's a spiritual shift that makes you more aware of life as a gift. Meister Eckhart, a German theology of the Middle Ages, is reported to have said, if the only prayer you said in your whole life was, thank you, that would be good enough. Be thankful for what you got.